Okay, and now we're back with Dr. K.
You feel guilty about
He has
everything.
a little game for us to play.
When we all lived in huts and wore furs, we worried over the simple things.
What makes you assume we
Food,
all wore
water,
furs?
whether animals would come and eat us in the night. Now we have supermarkets, bottled water, and 38 caliber home security. So what keeps us awake at night? More often than not, guilt. If only I had acted differently. If only I hadn't said that. If only I'd said something.
Yeah, he's really obnoxious.
You beat yourself up with your past. Don't blame yourself. Blame the world. Blame God. Blame me. Okay, this is my favorite. Let me introduce some friends of mine. This is King Harold. His daughter, the chaste Celestine. A prince called Wilhelm. And a bull. He doesn't have a name. Prince Wilhelm is passionately in love with Celestine, but she does not love him. One day, Wilhelm comes to the king and asks for Celestine's hand in marriage. Celestine begs the king not to marry her to Wilhelm, but the king ignores her pleas. Royal protocol means he must say yes to the match. They are married, and Wilhelm takes Celestine back with him to his kingdom. That night, he attempts to consummate the marriage, but the distraught Celestine flees. She runs from the safety of the castle and across a field, ignoring the sign which warns of danger. In that field is a bull who, seeing the girl, charges her. She falls under his hooves and is killed instantly. What I want you to do is line the players up according to how guilty they are of Celestine's death. Whose fault was it? At the left, most culpable. To the right, most innocent. You want to hear that again?
No, I'm good. Now, with this puzzle, don't look at the characters for who they are. Look at what they represent. Like, in my head, the Prince Wilhelm would be, the worst, because he basically forced someone who didn't love him to marry him. But even in forcing someone that doesn't love you to marry you, didn't cause her death. He didn't kill her with his hands. The king represents society and society's mores. The bull represents an accident. The causes that created an accident. The bull isn't really conscious of its desires to kill. It's just what it does. It's in its nature. So you could say that could be, I don't know, the bull could represent a car, an icy road. Now, of course, she's responsible. Celestine's responsible for her own death because she ignored the signs. She represents Harry. Wilhelm represents Dahlia. The bull represents
Poor
ice,
Celestine.
snow.
She didn't have to run, right?
And the car. And the king could represent
the best cure for guilt is
Cheryl.
to never get
It could
caught in the first
represent
place.
society. You get a
Let's
woman pregnant,
continue.
you have to marry her. It's an unhappy marriage, but it's what you do because that's what people do in society. La Mimi chose. I have no clue. I am not familiar with the French language at all, so if somebody could, educate me on what that means, I would love to know. Okay. Out we go. And going back to Lisa and Lisa Garland from the original Silent Hill, she was a character who was addicted to drugs. You find one of her journal entries and she's talking about need drug, and the drug that she needed was, of course, the White Claudia. White Claudia was an indigenous flower that grew in the region of Silent Hill, which they took and they dried and they turned into this like crazy white powder, or like a white serumy liquid that they used for hallucinogenic properties. And early in the game, when you first meet Sybil Bennett, she mentions that. She's just like, they sell it to the townies, and the townies sell it to the visitors and the people on vacation. So there was like a nefarious past to Silent Hill 2 and the plant White Claudia. You can see an example of the plant White Claudia in Alex Shepard's house. It's sitting in a vase on a dresser on the upstairs room. We're going to call Toluca Mall.
Welcome to Toluca Mall, home of the experience. All under one roof and within 5 minutes of beautiful Toluca Lake. All the shopping, dining, and entertainment you need in one place. Call in today to enroll as a Toluca Mall VIP and help yourself to our amazing value store card with low rates of 18% APR on all purchases. Enroll today and receive a free gift as well as access to exclusive events and promotions.
These mascots and these characters, I don't like it at all. I think they're campy, I think they're cheesy, and in reality, would you see something like that? I don't know, maybe. I mean, I've never in my life seen a high school team called the Cuckoos, but of course somebody's probably going to go out of their way to, like, send me a message, because, they always do. People love to, inform me when I'm wrong, but I don't know. It's not anything that I think is interesting. I think it's, like, bordering on obnoxious. It's like, ha 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 ha, making a joke about the crazy people in Silent Hill, the Cuckoos. Putting a toucan here to make fun of Toluca, because that's how it's spoken. It's, I don't know. Things that I find to be a little bit on the condescending side. And there's an interesting little street sign. I love it when you point the Wiimote down, you can do like a 360 spin. Running around exploring the snowy town of Silent Hill. Like in the first Silent Hill, there was like misty, grainy snow that came down, and that, of course, became falling suit in the movie. And their way of interpreting that, because it was a mining town. Golden Leaf Warehouse. And there's a message from Michelle. Hey Harry, it's Michelle. Hope you got home okay. Still waiting for John here. What a lousy weekend. Kiss, 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 Michelle. Okay. And product stages, Toluca Mall, logistics, reevaluation schedule. Interesting. Okay, we have a Xerox machine. Remember these old crazy things? And inside we have a bone. Synthetic femur. Kind of reminds me of the dog key that you get in Silent Hill 2 that unlocks the door. And a big old truck. I wonder if Travis drives that. And we're gonna head over here. There's nothing in this other Xerox machine, but I like to open stuff. Ta-da! Oh, something fell and smashed. I'm just taking a little time out to save here. I think this is the first time I've saved since I played.
Dangerous things,
all
forklifts.
Employees, forklift safety. Failure to observe these and other rules. That sign was crazy. It's just a bunch of nonsense. But down the bottom it says this is written by Mike Brenner. None of these names in this game really ring a bell outside of the characters that you're directed to. It will become a focal point in the storyline. And just running around. In Silent Hill 3, you go into like an old warehouse. or an old building where like there's a dance studio and other random stuff, and the mannequin that's head falls off. You know, those crazy, creepy things that you don't expect to happen. Those are the best.